of high school football season. A place where you either won a scholarship and wore a college football helmet or wore a hard hat and worked the
CBS Sports presents the National Football League. Today, the Chicago Bears against the New York Jets.
At Giant Stadium, the home of the Jets in East Rutherford, New Jersey. 35 degrees the temperature. It could have been a lot worse. That's the AFC East picture. A must-win for the Jets, who are tied for first place with Miami and New England. Those two play Monday night. The NFC Central is owned by Chicago. They have the home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Good afternoon. I'm Pat Summerall. A lot of people say that the Bears don't have to win this game. It doesn't mean that much to them. With me, of course, is John Madden, and let me put that question to you. How much does it mean?
I think it means an awful lot to the Chicago Bears, because I think the Bears are the best team in the NFL, the best team in football. I think they're going to go all the way and win the Super Bowl. Now, if that's true, then they just beat the Jets because they're a better team. You don't need reasons to win. If you do, you're not going to go all the way. I really believe that they are the best. And I think if they win, I think they go all the way through this thing. And I think if they don't, if they need reasons to win, then I don't think that they beat the Jets today. I also don't think they go to and win the Super Bowl.
Weather conditions this afternoon. Temperature 35 degrees, 38% humidity, winds up to 23 miles an hour. And it's supposed to stay just about like this. Yesterday it rained all day. It was a vicious-looking day. Today, outside of the wind, and if you can stand 35 degrees, it's not bad at all. The Jets, Pat Leahy, tees it up to kick it off and get it started. Willie Gault is deep along with Dennis Gentry, both of them with great speed. Sellout crowd at Giant Stadium. The biggest game for the Jets in a long, long time.
I think the wind is a factor right off the bat. They couldn't keep the ball on the tee, and the Jets have a holder now for this opening kickoff.
That's Kurt Sohn who's down holding, and Leahy kicking away from Gault, gets it to the 2 and Gentry. And the Jets are kind of in a hurry. Gentry doesn't make it back to the 15. Bobby Humphrey was there. The lineups for the Bears: McMahon, the quarterback, Peyton and Suey, the runners, and Gault and Dennis McKinnon starting at wide receiver. Up front, Covert, Hortz, Hilgenberg, Thayer, Van Horn, and Emery Moorhead starts at tight end. First and 10. Bears at their own 14. McMahon starts with Peyton, the lone setback. Willie Galt wide to the left. Now Suey comes back in the backfield with Peyton. McKinnon wide to the right. McMahon pulled him offside. It'll go against the Jets. Flecko and Gastineau both appeared to jump. Barry Primmett made the tackle.
I think this is planned, Pat. Mike Ditka told us last night he expects to draw the Jets offside 7 times in this game.
He got one. Fred Wyant is the referee. He's a good one.
Mark Gastineau was lined up over the right guard, not over the tackle in his normal position. He and Flecko there in the middle. And watch him jump. The guy on the left right here is Gastineau, 99. You see him? He just jumped. Flecko started to jump, but it was Gastineau that they got. And I think that was as a result of an inflection in McMahon's voice.
1st and 5. He's got some inflection. McMahon to Suey. Looks like he's about a foot shy of the first down. Charles Jackson and Gastineau on the stop. Let's look at that Jet defense. Gastineau, Flecko, and Barry Bennett in their 3-man front. Jackson, Clifton, Mel, and Bob Crable starting at linebacker. And the secondary, which has really been banged up, will open this way. Glenn and Lynn, the corners. Springs and Hamilton, the safety men. Dennis McKinnon this time goes wide left, and Galt comes to the other side. 1st down, Bears. You got it. Here's Peyton's effort. And he gets about 5 or 6. Bennett again on the stop. Let's check out some of that blocking up front.
Well, you know, the Jets are using the same type of thing as the Bears. You see Flecko in there. He's in the middle, and he's cocked off to the right. So what they do is they start a double on him, push off, and then Peyton comes right in off that block. That's going to be a good matchup all day, that Jay Hilgenberg and Joe Flecko in the middle there.
Hilgenberg, in the opinion of the Bears, is having an all-pro season. Peyton got 6. It's 2nd and 4. They move out to the 31. Peyton again. Hit behind the line by Joe Flecko. Dropped for a loss.
You know, it was interesting. Flecko started on the left side, jumped over here to the right side of the center. See, now as the ball snapped, he's going to hit that gap right between the center and the left guard. Now the center was firing out. He couldn't get him. The left guard couldn't get there quickly enough. Flecko was in the backfield before Peyton could get it started. But he fooled him on that. Started in the left side gap, jumped to the right side gap, and whap! Went right by Hilgenberg.
3rd and 6. 4 down linemen now for the Jets. McMahon chased by Gastineau. Gets it outside. Incomplete. Knocked loose. Pass was intended for Moorhead, I believe, but he couldn't quite find the handle.
I think it would have been short of a 1st down anyway.
I'm still not sure if the receiver was Marjoram or Moorhead, but it would have been short of the 1st down. And Maury Buford is back to punt. Kurt Sohn back deep for the Jets. Buford standing at his own 15-yard line. Drive kick will be handled by Sohn. He is hammered by Jim Morrissey after he gets just outside the 30. Good punt by Buford of 45 yards into that wind. And the Jets take over. Play in the 1st quarter. Jets have the ball at their own 31 with the wind at their back, but it swirls in this stadium considerably.
You know, Joe Walton likes to start off with Ken O'Brien early in the game with a safe, tight pass. Something that he can complete and maybe get something. I think what they plan to do here is start off with a quick screen pass out to Al Toon.
And Toon is split Close to the right sideline. They go right to Tune. They go high. Hartenstein chases the play down along with Otis Wilson. Now let's check the starting lineups. First for the Jets, the offense. O'Brien, the quarterback. Freeman, McNeil, and Tony Page, the runners. Two fine wide receivers in Tune and Walker. The offensive line has McElroy, Sweeney Fields, Alexander, Marvin Powell, and the fine tight end Mickey Schuler. 2nd and 9. They got a yard. They go with two tight ends this time. Rocky Cleaver's up on the line, and that's Schuler in motion. They give it to McNeil. Hammered by William Perry just as soon as he got the ball. The refrigerator. The cold shouldn't bother him. The Bear defense. Hartenstein starting in place of Hampton. Steve McMichael and William Perry inside, and Richard Dent, the other defensive end. Wilson, Singletary, and Cliff Thrift instead of Wilbur Marshall. And in the secondary, now famous, Richardson, Frazier, Durison, and Fenson. 3rd and long. That's Richard Dent we're going to watch. O'Brien. Schuler. He drops the ball. The Bears are going to come up with it unless they make a serious error. Schuler almost got it back. I think it was Durison that finally did make the recovery.
Durison finally ended up with it. That's the thing that Joe Walton was saying yesterday, that they want to get off to a good start. They throw a little screen pass, then they come back with something to Schuler. They get the pass, they get what they want. Of course, the end of it is what he didn't want. You see here, I think this is one thing against the Bears. Most people try and go to those outside receivers. The Jets are going to try to go to Schuler. He had the ball, caught the pass, started to change hands, and it went right up his body.
Another key thing, John, too, was the fact that O'Brien had adequate time. Not much pressure. Bears will put it up on 1st down. McMahon to call. He's got a 1st down and more. Whirls into Jet territory. Kerry Glenn tackled him, a gain of 16.
Well, when we were talking to Jim McMahon last night, he said, well, we want to come out throwing. If they have a weakness in this Jet defense, it's a pass defense, the secondary, the coverage, that the way to beat them is throw. Mike Ditka says, Galt will catch some, he'll drop some, but we're going to keep throwing it to him.
He's 1 for 1 today. Bear 1st down at the Jet 40. Again, the Jets, I believe, jumped offside. Gastineau on the tackle.
Yeah, that's what Mike Ditka said. He said they get up there. He said they listen to the quarterback. You have to watch the ball.
Offside,
you listen to the quarterback, you're going to jump.
1st down.
Was Klecko.
And he's the guy right up over the center. Watch him now. He can see the ball there, but he also sees the quarterback. That's not bad. The thing that he's doing is listening. And McMahon is trying to draw him offside. Ditka said we'll get 7. Here it is the 1st quarter. Already got us 2.
Joe Walton over on the sideline talking with his offensive coordinator, Zeke Bratkowski. 1st and 5. Zeke, of course, played with the Bears among other teams. Draw play Peyton. Peyton tries to get to the outside, gets maybe a yard before Barry Bennett once again makes the stop. You better be dressed warmly today, as it is brisk.
Well, this is good football weather. It's supposed to be. Now, the guys that don't get bothered by this are the big guys. You see them in there. You see Big Joe Plecko in there at nose tackle. He's not even wearing a sweatshirt or anything underneath there. They just got that thing. The guys that are bothered by it are those wide receivers.
The thin ones.
Yeah, the thin ones. Well, those guys are about 4.4% body fat.
Again, the Jets jump offside as Peyton cuts back inside. The penalty should be enough for the 1st down. Kyle Clifton, the outside linebacker, was the culprit that time. 3.
Offside. Number 55. 1st down.
Yeah, that was Charles Jackson. He's out here on this side. Watch him right down here in the bottom of the picture. Again, he's looking in there for the ball, but McMahon is doing something. You know, like if you go on 3, you can go hot, 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 or you can go hot, hot, like that. There are a lot of different ways to get to 3. He's doing it. The Jets are anticipating one way, and he's giving them the other way.
It happened to the Jets against Buffalo last week a couple of times. Same thing. First down, Bears. There's the Jet 30. McMahon backpedals. McMahon chased by Gastineau, sidearms it to Moorhead at about the 23. Lance Mel on the stop, a gain of 8.
That McMahon's a beauty, isn't he?
I'll tell you.
The way he dresses, he had that hair last night and a spike, he calls it. Had it all worked up, said it was looking good. Look, he's wearing one glove. He has a glove on his left hand, on his right hand. Yeah, but that's a picture without a spike. He didn't have the spike going there. Last night he had the spike. Look, he has a glove in his left hand and right hand. See that throwing hand?
Before the game, he was out on the field checking out the turf in a robe and slippers.
And the sunglasses.
They get straight ahead to Suey, and Suey inside the 20 will pick up a Bear first down before Harry Hamilton brings him down.
I think Matt Suey is the ideal guy for this team. You know, when you have a Jim McMahon who can throw it like he can and move around, and a Walter Payton, the greatest running back who ever played the game, you need a Matt Suey. You know, the team type of guy, the unselfish guy, the guy who will block, the guy who will pick up some yards when you need him, that steady team type guy.
He seems to be perfectly content with his role. The give is to Payton. And Payton gets down close to the 10. A gain of another 8 yards. Kirk Springs made the stop. Only one team all year long has been able to get 100 yards on the ground against this Jet front 7. That was the Los Angeles Raiders in the first game of the year. That's their average. So they've been very difficult to run against. But the Bears seem to have figured out a scheme.
Well, of course, having Walter Payton in that offensive line is a pretty good start.
That'll help any scheme. Second and 4, they say, and they give to Payton again. Payton has a Bear first down at about the 6. Charles Jackson was the first Jet to make contact.
You know, I know one thing, Pat. One thing that the Bears are going to do is run at Mark Gastineau. Mark Gastineau is one of the best pass rushers in this league. But they think in doing that, sometimes he takes outside rushes and you can run inside him. So those runs that we're just seeing, one by Suey, the next 2 by Payton, were all directed at number 99, Mark Gastineau.
That'll make it first and goal at the 6. Payton and Suey behind McMahon. McMahon chased, throws it away. He is hammered. Bob Trable really unloaded on McMahon just as he let it go.
I think what McMahon was trying to do there, he could feel the pressure, and he didn't have anything open. He's going to throw out here to the left. You see, right now, he knows it's coming. He knows that he has to get rid of it. I think he just threw one of those sinkers, you know, like a down and out type of thing that isn't going to be intercepted.
Goff is to the right. Dennis McKinnon to the left. Second and goal at the 6. No score. The give is to Suey. Suey is down to about the 1, led by Payton and others.
You know, a fullback has to have a good feel. You know, they talk about a running back having a feel. That's what Suey had that time. He started in there up the middle, felt the soft spot to the right, and just boom, just came right over there and up in that hole.
This is the situation when in previous games we've seen William Perry in the game. He is still on the sideline. And it's still Suey and Payton. They go with 2 tight ends, and Andy Frederick is lined up on the right side as a 3rd tight end. And a timeout is taken by the Bears. McMahon wasn't sure, and he wants to talk to Mike Ditka. No score, first quarter. Here's what happened while we were away. Here comes the refrigerator.
See, the refrigerator is reporting there. He's telling the officials that got this whole stadium pad is standing up. The refrigerator came in the game, and the whole place is standing up. They want to watch this one.
Peyton and number 72 in the Bear backfield, William Perry. Moorhead in motion. They give to Peyton, and he stops short of the goal line. Hit by Tom Baldwin first, number 95. And here comes Kevin Butler.
The Bears tried to get a little tricky there. They put the refrigerator on the left side. Then they ran back to the right side with no lead block. Baldwin got penetration, got underneath that Bear offensive line, and made the play.
19-yard field goal attempt for Kevin Butler, who has converted 10 straight on the road. Steve Fuller holding. Butler rams it home, and the Bears get on the scoreboard first. It's 3-0. Here's that third down play again.
Well, they usually either give it to the refrigerator or run behind him. This time they did neither. See, the refrigerator goes left, Peyton goes right, and the Jets say, you're not getting in this time, Walter.
Butler puts them ahead 3-0. Keith Ortego is holding for Kevin Butler, who's had problems with his kickoffs of late. Bobby Humphrey and Johnny Hector back deep. This is Rocky Cleaver, who fields it for the Jets, knocked it down first and gets back to the 40. He's quite an athlete.
Tell you, he is. He's a backup tight end, the backup quarterback, backup punter, and backup kicker.
A very valuable man. Tomorrow on CBS begins at 12:30 with the NFL today, 12:30 Eastern Time. The big one in Dallas, the Giants, Minnesota at Atlanta, Green Bay, Detroit, the 49ers in New Orleans, Philadelphia, San Diego, St. Louis and the Rams late. First and 10, Jets at their own 40. Schuler swings in motion. A messed up play, and they still get about 3 yards out of it. Mike Singletary made the stop. Freeman McNeil, after there was a mix-up between the quarterback O'Brien and McNeil.
Hey, you know, the Jets are a little tighter than the Bears are, you know, and maybe because this means so much being tied with two other teams in the start, but offensively, they seem very tight, and they seem very tight on defense, too. That's everything.
O'Brien dips to McNeil, and he's got some room. About a yard short of the first down, Gary Fencing. And Singletary again, a gain of 6.
Well, what the Jets are going to do, they're going to run to this side, to number 22, Duerson. You see Duerson there? He has to fill. What they feel is on the other side, they have the 3 linebackers. On this side, they have the defensive back. So their run, most of their run, is going to be directed at number 22, Dave Duerson.
Johnny Hector has replaced McNeil. This is Hector diving for the first down. Up and over. Singletary again on the stop. Wilbur Marshall has made his first appearance. There he is, number 58, just coming out. And now he goes back in. He had the flu and did not start. Now he comes back out again. Thrift has taken his place. O'Brien, a short roll out to the right, gets it out to Al Toon, who steps away from one man and gets a Jet first down. Duerson was the man who missed. Finsick knocked him out of bounds. That's not booze, by the way.
Oh, that's two. You know, that's great having a name like Two. Anything you do, if they boo, you say no, they're just saying two. If you catch the ball like he did there, they say two, pick up, two.
He got away from Richardson first, and then Duerson and Finsick managed to get him out of bounds. Another Jet first down at the Bear 38. Chicago leading 3-0. Wesley Walker was the man in motion. O'Brien goes again to Toon. Toon is out of bounds at the 31 by Frazier and Duerson.
I'll tell you, Ken O'Brien was talking yesterday about Al Toon and telling us how much he liked him. He said that right now he's one of the best in the league. He said someday he's going to be the best in the league. He said the best of all the guys once he gets this whole thing figured out. He said, but he's a pleasure to throw to.
Well, he's a big guy.
Stays after practice every day.
6'4", 200 is Toon. Jets first-round draft choice, late reporting, but really rolling now. O'Brien trying to go deep. Walker was trying to get behind Richardson. And the penalty flag is down. He knocked him all the way out of bounds.
Well, that's the one they're going to talk about. Richardson was going for position.
Number 27, first down.
And he hit Wesley Walker. Watch him out here on the right. You see, Walker starts to slow up. Right there, you see him put his right hand up there. He put his right arm in. Now, when he does that, that's going to get him turned and up the field. Now, they also said that that was interference.
On first down, they give to McNeil, who swings to the outside, inside the 10, out of bounds, about the 6. Knocked out by Pensick. A gain of 8.
McNeil does on this play, watch, he starts up and now he comes in. Now that holds the defense right there. See that little move? Then he bounces it back out. Then he's able to get to the outside against Duerson. You see, he came up to him to hold him and then bounced it out to the left.
First and goal, Jets from the 6. Hampton and Keys both are in the Bear front now. Freeman McNeil is the lone Jet back. O'Brien going for Toon in the corner, but Toon wasn't going to the corner.
Yeah, there's 2 wide receivers out there, Al Toon and Wesley Walker. They both ran inside patterns. Ken O'Brien threw it to the outside. You see him now, watch. Here comes Toon. He'll come inside. Walker comes inside, and O'Brien throws it to the corner.
That'll make it second and goal. A third down, beg your pardon. Third down and about 1 from the 6. Johnny Hector swings out of the backfield. They're going for Hector. He had it and lost it. It was batted away at the last second by Dave Duerson. Fine play.
Dave Duerson said of all the football, the part that he likes best is covering guys. Now, sometimes he's inside as he was there, and he's covering backs out of the backfield. Sometimes he's on wide receiver. Now, but that's the part that he likes best, is the coverage part. Did that one pretty good against Johnny Hector.
Pat Leahy will attempt the field goal from 23 yards away. And Ryan, the holder. Leahy, who also is having an outstanding year. Ties it at 3. Satisfied Joe Walton, at least satisfied at the moment. 1:41 left in the first quarter. 3-all. And John Madden, we're at Giant Stadium for the Jets and the Bears. There's the story of the Jets scoring drive. Pat Leahy finished it off with 3. Willie Galt and Dennis Gentry back deep. Again, they kick in the direction of Gentry. They chase him all the way back to the back end of the end zone. And no return. Just a reminder that coming up next here on CBS, college basketball. St. John's Redmen, who won 5 in a row, visit UCLA to play Walt Hazzard's Bruins. It's live at 3:45 Eastern Time, right after the football game. Here in the football game, the score is 3-3 with 1:35 left to play in the first quarter. Bears operating from their own 20. Galt wide right, McKinnon wide left. Peyton, left side, juggled the ball, found the handle, and picked up about 7. Kyle Clifton took him down.
You know, one of the things with Joe Klecko lining up in that gap, a lot of times he'll take 2 blockers. Now watch, here's Klecko right here. See, but he's lined up in the gap here. Now he has to get a block here and another block so that Peyton can get through this line. Now watch him, you see, by getting cocked off there, he gets the center, can't take him by himself, so he gets a double right there. If the double is effective, they get him on a ride, and in behind comes Peyton.
They give him 8. 2nd and 2. Suey went the wrong way. He and Peyton almost collided behind McMahon. Bob Crable on the stop. Watch this.
That's one that, you know, that has to be a mixed-up play. Because, I mean, that's obvious that it's a mixed-up play. You see him doubling here. Now, Peyton starts one way. Suey was probably supposed to lead into that hole. He started the same way Peyton was going. He looked and said, uh-oh, here he comes. I better go up and get in the middle there. And that was one of those things that you don't draw it up that way.
They're lucky they didn't come up with a fumble out of that. 22 seconds remaining, first quarter, a timeout. Mike Ditka a little displeased.
Well, the thing that he's displeased at is his quarterback, Jim McMahon, or whoever took the timeout. In fact, McMahon started to walk over to him, started to talk, put his hand up, says, okay, if you don't want to talk, I'll go back in.
They had a little meeting about several matters last week.
Well, you know, they hadn't talked in a month, Jim McMahon and Mike Ditka. And finally, Ditka was talking to his roommate and telling him things, and McMahon was talking to the general manager and saying, well, why doesn't he talk to me? So anyway, they did get together and talk.
That was a Jet timeout, by the way. And I think you'd have to figure that they were trying to force the Bears to punt into the wind. And that's why they burned that timeout. It's 3rd down and about 4. The ball back at the 26 now.
I don't know about that. I don't know that I would ever want to waste my timeouts in the first quarter, even though it's for the win. I mean, it looked like the Bears took the timeout. The thing that Ditka was mad about was probably the play that was a mix-up between McMahon, Suey, and Peyton. And then the Jets wanted them to stay here and punt from this area into the wind. But if you do it once, and if they don't make the first down, then they're going to have to do it again.
Keith Marjoram has come into the game. And Dennis Gentry as well. We've seen him spring Gentry open a lot of times from this formation. Marjoram. Gentry's the ball carrier. Again, the Jets were offside, and I think it was Klecko again.
It was Klecko, but this time he was lined up at a different position. He wasn't over the nose tackle. He wasn't over the center. He was outside.
Defense declined. Touchdown.
See, here he is this time. He's up here in this position, and he gets the jump. Watch him jump here. See, he's here. He's looking in at the ball. There's no movement there. Right there. It was Klecko from the outside that time. So that's the 3rd time they've gotten him today.
And the 4th time overall. There's Gentry's run.
I tell you, this Dennis Gentry is a pretty good player. The problem the Bears have had is how do you get him in there when he's playing behind Walter Payton?
That's the end of the quarter, and it goes back to remember that they only now have 2 timeouts. They gambled and lost in that case. It's 3-3 at the end of 1.
Business Computing Solution. And by Stroh's and Stroh Light. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is spoken here.
Beginning of the 2nd quarter at Giant Stadium. Sold out for the match between the Jets and the Bears. Here's Mike Ditka and some of his unhappiness. McMahon says, why me?
They took the timeout.
McMahon to put it up on 1st down. Going for goal. Picked off and dropped. Nope. He held on. Kurt Springs comes up with the interception. He dropped it, and the ball fell right back in his arm.
and he was hit by Barry Bennett just as he throws. Watch, he did a little play pass. Watch 78 Bennett there. You see as he steps up, he couldn't follow through. Now that took a little bit off it, made it a little short. Then they got the two guys there in the coverage.
Here's the hit.
Bennett here. You see, he couldn't step up with that front foot. He stepped parallel, and that just played that thing up like a wounded duck.
Incomplete pass. Still first down.
They have changed and said the pass was incomplete. It did hit the ground.
He also said it's still first down. It can't still be first down.
Now they've changed it. Second down. Let's see if we can see it.
So there, Springs has it there. There it comes off. No, it never hit the ground. It looked like it hit his body as it was coming down. It went up. Instead of hitting the ground, it hit the white jersey. Oh, that was an interception. That was the guy thought he saw something that he didn't see on that one.
So it's 2nd and 10 Bears from their own 40. Woolley Golf split wide to the left. That's Reitman in motion. McMahon goes back. The Jets are blitzing. McMahon out of the pocket, and he will take off. And out of bounds, back at the line of scrimmage.
Here we see it again. Kirk Springs is number 21. See, he has the ball now. Now it bounces, but it doesn't hit the ground. It hits right on his right hip. Now he spins around. He still has it. The ball never did hit the ground. It bounced off of him, bounced back to him, into him, and rolled over.
Payton has a little blowout.
Well, you know, when you're taking the ball and you're running it in there, they grab for anything. They grab for anything they can get and start ripping it.
15-yard penalty in the meantime for a personal foul is being walked off against the Jets. That makes it first down. And I didn't see what happened, John, did you?
It had to happen later after the play. There was a rollout. Hilgenberg block came outside and hooked Gastineau as McMahon got to the outside, but I didn't see anything happen during the play. It had to happen well after the play.
It didn't happen to McMahon, I do know that. He went out of bounds, which is something Ditka has been trying to get him to do. Pitch back to Payton. Payton cut down by Kyle Clifton. Picked up 2.
They had that thing blocked pretty well to the inside. Walter Payton took it to the outside. Clifton, from the outside, got that penetration, but he didn't have any place to cut out on.
Based on what I've heard about the weather in Chicago, I don't think you would rather be at Soldier Field. McMahon back to throw. Flushed out of the pocket and chased. And now he takes off again and hustles out of bounds. Again, it's just about back at the line of scrimmage.
McMahon is probably over in the sideline making excuses or apologizing to the Jet guys for running out of bounds, but that's one of the things that he and Mike Ditka talked about. He says, I like you, but I like you healthy. He said, you can't do those stupid things like throwing your body around and diving and stuff. Run out of bounds. Take a knee once in a while. You don't have to be the macho guy all the time.
You're no good to me hurt, he said. Can't help me that way. 3rd down and 8. They're at the Jet 43. Gentry is in the game now. That 3.5 formation. Gentry comes in motion. Payton on a draw play. Payton has the first down. Good call. Lester Lyles finally stopped it. A gain of 9 by Payton. Carl Howard had an assist.
That's what makes Payton better than the rest. That you can go, you can have a 3rd and 8. Now that's a passing down. Everyone in the world throws on 3rd and 8. But when you can take something and have confidence that Payton can get you the ball, they come in there, they make a good trap. That was a heck of a trap block by Mark Bortz. Left guard pulled to the right. Boom, Payton's right in behind there.
Bortz just wiped Bennett out. First down 34. McMahon. Crable was there quick. They get the ball to Reitman, and he's still going. Another Bear first down. Kirk Springs, Kyle Clifton, a gain of 13.
This is one of the things that you like to do or try and do against the blitz is you hit the tight end on a quick look-in. You see he got the play pass, boom! Here comes Reitman. He's just coming off the ball. You hit him right now in front of those defensive backs and the area that the linebackers left.
Reitman carried 2 tacklers, about 5 extra yards. First and 10. They're down at the Jet 21. 3-3 the score. Outside quickly to Galt. Galt inside the 20, inside the 15. Kerry Glenn. Gain of 7.
I think in this Bears thing, as they go into the playoffs, I think they have to establish this guy more and more. And I think they know it, and I think that's one of the things that you want to do. I mean, they have the running game. They have, the Peyton, the Suey, and all that. They got that tight end stuff and the back stuff throwing. But they need that deep guy that can go zip and ring that bell from anywhere.
And they need him with confidence. Second down. Suey. To about the 7. Crable and Hamilton on the tackle.
That was just a good balance run by Suey. It's the thing that he did earlier in this game. Now he's not the biggest guy, he's not the strongest guy, he's not the fastest guy, but he has that feel, that instinctive feel that a good runner has.
Suey is 5'11" and 216. Chicago has been controlling the game. 14-50, they've had it. The Jets just 350. Score is 3-3, but the Bears are close. McMahon whoops it out to Reitman. Touchdown. He did get in. 7 yards from McMahon to Reitman.
That's why you like that big tight end the closer you get to the goal line. For 2 reasons. 1, it's always crowded down there, and he's easy to see. And 2, once he gets the ball, if you can get him the ball around that 2 or 3, he's big enough and strong enough to do this. Just turn it up, boom, just put that right shoulder down, have guys hitting, falling off you, flopping on the ground, but you still get it in the end zone.
And Reitman did, and now Butler will try for the extra point with Steve Fuller holding. It is good. That's the first NFL touchdown scored by Tim Reitman. And it gives the Bears the lead 10-3. Second man in is Tim Reitman, the man who scored the touchdown, his first in the NFL. Of course, he played in the USFL. Ortego holding now.
What do you do when you hold? You kind of keep your finger on there lightly, or do you put pressure on it?
As lightly as possible.
With your head down?
Sometimes it affects kickers. Johnny Hector comes out of the pack. Hector to the 40. Almost to the 50. A gain, a run return of 40 yards.
That was one of the areas that the Bears weren't happy with, I think, of anything in their football, and Mike Ditka brought it up last night. He said, we're not happy with our kickoff coverage. We're not doing a good job on that. Now watch Hector. Everyone comes to the middle. No one gets it. Then a couple of guys outrun him, and he's able to get that ball up to midfield. One thing good that Kevin Butler didn't have to tackle.
Freeman McNeil for a loss by Otis Wilson. A loss of about 4.
One of the things, and we see that Wilbur Marshall is in there, and I thought that would happen. I think, when the Bears get a defense like this, and you got guys like that are playing, have been there all year, and and you get the flu, I still think you play the next day. I mean, maybe they didn't think he could, but guys like that, when that bell rings and, they tee it up, they're going to be out there playing.
You got a Hampton in there playing, too. Neither one of them started. Here's O'Brien to the outside, intended for Toon, and too high. Singletary on the coverage.
It was a funny thing on that last drive where the Bears just scored. The Bears had some big breaks going down there. They had that one, Kirk Springs really did intercept that ball, and they took it away from him. And, of course, they had the big 15-yard penalty, so they had a little help on that one. Probably McMahon's thinking now, hey, we got a little help on that.
That brings up a 3rd and 15 from the 45 now for the Jets. Johnny Hector and Freeman McNeil in the backfield. They give to McNeil. McNeil lunges for 3 before Richard Dent trips him. And the Jets will have to punt into the wind.
It's only 3 yards, and the Jets have to punt, but Freeman McNeil made a great move on Wilbur Marshall. Marshall came up to tackle, and when he went there to grab, he just grabbed air. There was nothing there. Didn't do the Jets any good, but it sure fooled Wilbur Marshall.
13 is Dave Jennings, longtime Giant punter who's moved across town. Keith Ortego back for the Bears, standing at his own 20. Jennings, a line drive in over in. Ortego adds some room, gets it back to about the 28. Billy Griggs was down to make the stop.
Let's watch that last play. On the right-hand side of the defense, 58 is Wilbur Marshall. Now watch McNeil as he starts. Watch Marshall comes to the outside. Look at that move McNeil put on. And Marshall just go, whap! I don't have anything.
Just jumped out of his arms. 10-3 Bears. Well, Christmas spirit came early at least. First down Bears. Calvin Thomas in the backfield now with Peyton. The ball's at the 29. McMahon down the middle to McKinnon. Ball pops loose, but they're saying it was down. Gain of 8.
Joe Walton is saying, of all the things that happened, we sure haven't gotten many of the breaks today. We get this one, it looks like we have an interception. Now, this is good pass protection here. They have a blitz up the middle. Good job by Hilgenberg on Klecko. That opens up that middle so that McMahon can throw it. Now, of course, once he's down, the whistle blows, and the ground can't cause a fumble. Or if he fumbled he fumbled after the whistle blew anyway.
That was a good call. The give is to Peyton, left side. Trying for the first down. He's close, and here comes the flag. Klecko and Bennett on the stop. Penalty flag thrown from way deep in the secondary.
So that's usually on the tight end or the linebacker playing over the tight end. He watches that guy.
Against the Bears.
Illegal use of the hand, number 85, second down.
Against McKinnon.
It's usually any time that an end gets in a blocking, that guy deep throws that. McKinnon saying, what did I do? That's usually the tight end they're watching.
How did you get after me, and why?
Well, one thing, Dennis McKinnon, one of the things that the Bears have always liked about him and everyone else is he is a physical guy. He is an aggressive guy, and he's one of the few wide receivers who is a good blocker.
Right. Second down and 12 from the 27. Bears operating now with the wind. It's showing the 3-man rush, and that's all they bring. McMahon gets it down the middle of Moorhead. Moorhead will be about 4 yards short of the first down.
Yeah, that's what you call the underneath. They talk about quarterbacks or passing, hitting the underneath. That time the Jet linebackers went back. Moorhead came from the right underneath the linebackers and in front of the defensive line.
Now the Jets are going to try to put some pressure on McMahon. Not that they'll always try, but they're going to go with 6 down linemen. 6-man rush by the Jets. McMahon gives outside to Payton. Payton got the first down, I believe. Lester Lyles knocked him out of bounds. A gain of 4.
This is an interesting defense here, Pat. What they did is they used 6 defensive linemen. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 defensive backs. Now, Joe Klecko's the outside guy. He comes here, misses Payton right here. Payton gets away for the first down. But they got 6 guys up in front. Then they got the defensive backs. You see Klecko come, the block right there. Klecko looked like he had a chance to get him right there, just slipped right off and down. Payton a little straight arm, and enough for the first down.
There's an injured line marker down in front of the Bear bench. And we'll get the maintenance trainers out.
You know, if they have to take a link out of that, that'd be easier to get a first down now. You don't have to go 10 yards. Maybe like it had, you know, like it normally has 63 links in it. Now it ends up with 62 links, and you have to go 1 less link.
Well, they say it's a game of inches.
It's a game of chain links now.
Don't forget Christmas Day on CBS Sports. Begins with the Blue-Gray All-Star Football Classic with some of the nation's top seniors, including Navy's Napoleon McCallum, Notre Dame's Alan Pinkett. And then the Boston Celtics against the New York Knicks, live at 3:30 Eastern Time. The Blue-Gray game, and then NBA basketball. Thomas was the man in motion, and Payton is the ball carrier, straight ahead for a yard. Crable, again, has just come off the injured list with another tackle.
Well, Crable had a bad knee a year ago, and then he'd been back, but he hadn't been playing. And then of course they had the injury last week to Gilbo, so this is his first start. Hey, he just went right by the blocker, got through him, and said, "Whoa, let me Payton here."
2nd and 8. Their ball at their own 42. McMahon again to Payton. Payton got about 3 yards. He was really hit by Kyle Clifton. Knocked backwards. Don't see that very often.
You know, I don't think he saw Clifton coming. What they did is they did a double. They started a double team on Klecko and got a pretty good push on him, which left Clifton unblocked. Now, Clifton was coming around that double team, and I don't think Payton saw him.
Marjoram and Gentry have come into the Bear offensive package, and it's 3rd and 5. To McKinnon. Looked as if he might break for a first down, but then Johnny Lynn stayed right with him.
That was a good tackle by Johnny Lynn. You know, McKinnon was coming in down that line and couldn't get it turned up because Lynn made a good tackle and didn't let him get it turned up. So now the Bears are going to have to punt in this situation.
So Maury Buford will come on. Johnny Lynn gets a rest. 4th and 1.
I think that's the one that McKinnon should probably run that pattern a couple yards deeper. I'm sure that Jim McMahon will probably say, hey, when we get it to you, let's get the first down on that 3rd down pass, huh?
Timeout, Bears. They'll only have 1 remaining.
Not sure why the Bears took timeout on that play.
Offense, 4th down.
It is a delay. And not a timeout, so they still have 2 left.
Well, the Bears didn't know that. Their managers ran out and started feeding them water like it was a timeout.
That's what I thought when I saw them come out. Kurt Sohn and JoJo Townsell are back deep. Sohn is 87. Townsell, another USFL recruit, is 83. Good punt by Buford. They let it go over the head and into the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20 and operate from there. Buford aiming for the corner, didn't quite get it. 10-3 still. Play in the first half. This is a list of the Jet offensive formations.
Well, what they figure, the thing they want to do to the Bears is give them a lot of different formations, make them adjust. Now, regular formation, of course, that's a regular 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end. Then they have ace formation, 1 running back, 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends. Deuce, 2 running backs, 1 wide receiver, and 2 tight ends. Then trips, 3 wide receivers. Triplet, 3 wide receivers with 2 running backs.
And then Tuck is the goal line in short yardage. O'Brien in the direction of Toon, but Toon had headed upfield. This is how, well, this play is being sent in by head coach Joe Walton. Sohn looks back, but usually Bobby Hammond, one of the assistants, that's he right there, signals in the formation.
And he was doing that. You know, he's signaling the formation so they know what it is before Kurt Sohn gets in there.
Hector and McNeil are the running backs. Nothing doing this time. Dan Hampton and friends made the stop.
There's Bobby Hammond there out in front. See, he's signaling the formation. So now O'Brien knows who he's going to have in the game. You know, and it's either going to be the ace, the deuce, the regular, trips, or whatever. Then they bring the play into him, and he calls that.
3rd down. McNeil, they got him. Tripped up by Marshall. McNeil out of the backfield. A gain of 21. He is getting up slowly. McNeil had problems with injured ribs, but he got the Jet first down. Picked up 21 yards. Bears 10, Jets 3.
What they're doing is, here's Rocky Cleaver out here. He's going to come up and run an in pattern, and then McNeil comes out of the backfield and swings up here. Now this brings the defense into here. McNeil gets outside and then up the field. See, the outside guy split a little, the tight end Cleaver. Now watch him right there. See, he comes in. Now right there, that brought the defense in, so McNeil was able to get to the outside.
McNeil up on his feet on the other side of the field, seems to be okay. Could be his ribs again. He's wearing pads, protective. You can see the protective shield that he wears.
Well, you know, he's had a broken rib this year. He didn't wear the pads last week. He got in a little trouble because of that. Said he was going to wear them again today, but he doesn't like that feeling that those pads give, and he's afraid of fumbling.
Just the wind knocked out of Freeman McNeil is the information. Tony Page was the intended receiver, number 49. O'Brien has been sacked 55 times this year. He's 5 out of 10 for 57 today. The good thing, the strong thing about him is he does complete a lot of passes, and he doesn't have many interceptions.
I think that's a big thing. He only has 7 interceptions. That's the fewest in the NFL. And some of those times, instead of throwing the interception, he has taken a sack.
The give is to Freeman McNeil, who came back in the game and struggles for first down. Dave Durison and Mike Richardson tackled McNeil, but he picked up 10.
You know, Dan Hampton, watch Hampton here, 99. He hasn't practiced all week. He's had the bad knee, and I think that they're trying to take a little advantage of there. That one, they gave him the draw. He gave the pass rush, boom, up the field, and here comes Freeman McNeil inside.
A Jet first down at the Bear 46 with 3 minutes and 5 seconds left to play in the first half. Tony Page, the ball carrier.
This could be the first time that the Bears blitz today, Pat. I think what they were trying to do is put some pressure. You know, the Jets get something going, and they're going to bring Duerson. Here's Duerson this time. He's going to hit right in here in this hole. The ball starts in here. Whap, he comes and makes the tackle right here. You see, he comes in, you see him up in there, sneaking up in there. Then he comes back, then boom, he hits it. Whap, comes right in here, gets the guy right in there from behind.
Mickey Schuler is down, the fine Jet tight end. He got hit in the middle of the back and in the front. Like it could be the wind knocked out of him, too.
Looks like he's holding that whole left side. In the shoulder and the arm.
He took a shot in the middle of the back. He's a tough guy.
He wants to go over the sideline and get recharged a little. It looks like he's having trouble getting feeling in that left hand. And when you're a pass receiver, you like to have both those hands going for you.
You get hit like he did, it just sort of everything goes numb.
And it just goes right down the arm. You just get that tingling down there, and you shake it a while, and eventually it comes back. You see, it is. I bet, you know that thing used to say you hit your crazy bone or something? I think he got one of those crazy bone deals.
McNeil scoots over the left side, picked up 4 or 5. Mike Singletary made a stop. Here comes Schuler back in. He's got feeling back in his left arm and shoulder.
He got that tingling out. Now he's going to hitch his pants a little. He hopes it's a pass. Ken O'Brien was telling us yesterday about Mickey Schuler. He said he wants to catch every pass, every play he wants to be a pass play, and every pass he wants directed at him. He says he's always open.
He claims they can't cover him. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. It's the Bears 10, the Jets 3. A must game for the Jets. Cap, this year's defensive genius and the man who developed that what has become now the famous Bear look.
You know, Buddy has an interesting thing is he has starting points. He really doesn't have a game plan, but he's going to start something and he's going to give it to you, and if you get it blocked, he'll go to something else until he finds something where he can whip you where you can't get it blocked. So this first quarter and maybe into the first half is just a trial type thing to find out how they can get guys free.
Third down. Bryan was chased by Duerson. That was a blitz. It's McNeil. And he's going to be short of the first down. Tackled by Fencing.
I think that's the thing. You know, he started out, he didn't do a lot of blitzing on this. And now he started out. Now here's Duerson right here. He brought him that last time in a run. Now he's going to bring him again on the pass. O'Brien gets back, has a little quick pass out here to McNeil. See, here comes Duerson. Boom, right up the middle. Page didn't block him. Page ran by him. But luckily, he had a quick pass out to McNeil.
And so Dave Jennings comes on the scene, standing back at his own 45. And Duerson is back deep for the Bears. That one's a hanger. Bounces inside the 15 to about the 12-yard line. The wind really caught that one. 28-yard punt by Jennings. That's the way the standings look in the NFC's Eastern Division. Dallas 9-5, tied with the Giants. Washington and Philadelphia. Washington 8-6, still not out of the playoff picture. Tomorrow, the NFL Today first, 12:30 Eastern time, and then the battle for first place. The Giants and the Cowboys. And you can see up top the stadium, that wind is starting to really rip.
That's the way it should be. I mean, it should be wind. It should be cold. It should be, you know, flopping around. Big game. Monsters of the Midway. Jets in New York.
We got all those things.
Santa Claus.
McMahon gets to Peyton. Peyton gets a couple at the most before Crable again makes the stop.
Did that ball look as Peyton got it that it started to go up on him?
Timeout for the Jets. They have one left.
Here we can watch Bob Crable here coming from the outside. Starts in there. He just reads that, and no one was supposed to block him anyway. You know, they think that you can get quickly inside if you're going, but Crable started. He read that and was able, boom, to come right down and close it off.
He stopped that play right at the line of scrimmage. There's the timeout situation. It is 2nd and 10. Jets took the timeout, hoping to force the Bears to punt. 2nd and 10 on the 12-yard line. Bobby Hammond and Joe Walton. NFL Today at the half, a live interview with the Dallas Cowboys defensive tackle, Randy White. See what he thinks about the upcoming battle with the Giants.
He'll probably say something like they have to stop Joe Morris.
Something like that.
Yeah. Mark Gastineau, he was here early today. When we got here today, you know, as you said, Gastineau was out hanging around. McMahon was wearing a robe. But also the Giants were out here practicing, getting ready today here for their game tomorrow down in Dallas.
2nd down for the Bears. 2nd and 10. And those long count. Gives to Suey. He is wrapped up by Bennett just as soon as he gets the ball. Charles Jackson with the assist, and the Jets use their last timeout.
Of course, now this darn near forces the Bears to have to run again because the Jets don't have any more timeouts. If they pass it and it's incomplete, then it stops the clock. Then they also stop it when they punt at the change of possession. So I'm sure that as McMahon comes over here to talk to Ditka, that they're going to talk that we'd like to pass, but we have to run.
Well, I think one of the points you were making to me before the game started about the importance of being able to pass block on both sides of the line, and thus far they've both done a pretty reasonable job.
I think so. I think that both offensive lines have controlled the defenses pretty well. See, now McMahon, as he was going in there, you knew that he knew he's going to run this ball.
That looks like a guy who hadn't played very much.
Oh, yeah. That helmet there has never been in a football game, I'll guarantee you. That thing is what you call a prop. It could have been a lamp or something. You know, it was probably in the deal, in the den or something. The guy took it off and put it on to come to the game.
That was Tom Baldwin, by the way. You think it was a lamp?
I think it was a lamp. That wasn't a helmet.
3rd and 11 for the Bears. McMahon comes out of the pocket. Protected by Bortz. He throws to Reitman. Close to first down. Close enough, I think, that they're going to have to measure it.
Well, there was a different look.
Yeah.
You could think anything. Getting a little artistic here.
They tell me it was a power hit, whatever that is.
I like that. You know, if you don't have a lot of weather, you know, like rain and snow and mud and dirt, you just get the lights in the stadium to go.
It's McMahon, and he gets out of bounds. Pushed out of bounds, way out of bounds. Cuts down a photographer. And a flag is down. Bob Crable pushed McMahon out of bounds. Cameras, cables, penalties.
Boy, that got them all in there in the sideline. You know, once McMahon gets out of bounds, of course, that stops the play. The official blows a whistle, and once you get out of bounds, then you can't touch him. See, now these guys get so anxious to get there. Crable's just getting there. Now, Crable was really in bounds. That wasn't really a bad play, I don't think. I mean, he's in the process of hitting him. He's still in bounds. He just gives him a little push. Now, of course, McMahon couldn't get stopped, and you got a whole body of people down there.
Looks like about half the lights in the stadium are out as a result of that power hit. And if your picture looks a little dim, that's what happened. Matsui is the lone setback. McMahon going back to work again. Going deep to Galt. This time it is intercepted. Springs was back there, along with Kerry Glynn. And he's the one who came up with the ball. That's the end of the half. As they head for the tunnel, the end of the first half at Giant Stadium. It's the Bears 10, the Jets 3.
He
just hit from 55 yards to make it 10-6. His longest previously had been 52, which he did last year. I know he's glad they moved to this stadium from Shea Stadium. This kickoff is hammered way out of the end zone. Galt fields it. And the Bears will operate from their own 20. Don't forget next weekend on a special edition of CBS Sports Saturday, a look at the year in sports. You can relive with us some moments such as Villanova's stunning NCAA basketball championship, the record-breaking performance of Pete Rose, John Madden's most entertaining moments from 1985. I've witnessed some of those. First and 10 at the 20. That's Moorhead in motion. McMahon under pressure. Gets away from some of it. Throws to McKinnon, who's out of bounds. Kyle Clifton was the man who was chasing McMahon.
Clifton was on a blitz. He came straight up the middle. Doesn't look, he was the guy that flushed McMahon out as he comes up in there. Comes up to this side, comes right here. McMahon starts back, feels it, gets flushed out here. You see, he starts back. Yep, there he starts. Here comes a blitz now. They don't have Clifton picked up. That flushed McMahon out. Had the field been 55 yards wide, he had a play.
That'll bring up second and 10 from the 20. Oh, man wide open is Walter Payton, and it's a foot race. Payton down at the 15. He didn't see that man coming up behind. Kerry Glenn. A gain of 65 yards, and Payton broke free.
I'll tell you, he's dangerous from whatever thing he does. Here he is on this time. They're going to start again to the inside. Bring Payton here. Swing him here. He gets linebacker coverage on him. He gets by him right here and up the sideline. See, they bring the formation in. You see the outside receiver come in right there. No one's out here on Payton. And boom. He darn near has that thing. About 5 or 6 years ago, he would have had that in the end zone. Now he has to wait a while, just take it to the 15.
The two Jet defenders collided as the wide receiver went inside. And Payton broke free. Ball's at the Jet 15. McMahon for Galt. Out of bounds. Gary Glenn was covering. That's a good catch by Galt.
Well, that's a bootleg. They started both backs to the other side. McMahon came out to this side. Now he's going to throw it away from Glenn, the corner, over Galt's outside shoulder, where there's no way it can be intercepted or knocked down. It's either going to be a touchdown or out of bounds. But that's exactly where you throw that thing.
It brings up a second and 10 from the 15. Dennis McKinnon is split wide to the left. Galt to the right. Draw play coming? Nope. McMahon gets away from the pressure, throws again for Galt. Kerry Coyne, the defender. McMahon was hit again just as he let it go.
I think on that time, Payton and Suey were in the backfield talking about the protection, who was going to block. They both stepped up in front. Watch him, the linebacker comes here. These two guys are both standing up. Now they're both going to get up here to block, and here's where the pressure comes as McMahon is thrown. See the linebacker right there, just gets by Payton.
3rd and 10. Back to Payton. Payton is down after a gain of a yard in the arms of Joe Flacco. Rich Miano.
Well, that play surprised me a little. I know, 3rd and 10, they had They had a 3rd and 10 before, and they had run to Peyton, and he'd gotten the first down. But when you're on the 15-yard line, that's a different 3rd and 10. I mean, that's like being about 3rd and 30. I think that's the thing that you have to try and throw that one.
So Kevin Butler will try from 31 yards away, gets the win. And it is good. You could really see the wind affect that ball, but Butler got it through. And it's 13-6 in favor of the Bears.
It's a big pass on that drive to Walter Payton. Here's Lance Mel. He has a man-to-man. Now what happens is McKinnon starts here, comes in and picks off Mel here, and then Payton can get to the outside. Watch the pick. Here comes McKinnon. Now right here, stop it right there. You see that picked him off in there, and here's Payton coming up the sideline. That's all you need. See, that gave him the 4 steps there.
There might be some question as to whether that is legal or not. Here's Butler's kickoff. He hits this one pretty well, but the wind takes it. And it's Bobby Humphrey. He's got some room. Humphrey out of the pack. Tackled by Reitman. And if he didn't make the stop, Humphrey was off to the races.
Reitman was the guy that they put on the kickoff coverage for this game. In fact, he took William Perry's place, the refrigerator. Had Reitman not been here, and the refrigerator been in this spot where number 80 is, taking on a double team, coming off, that was a heck of a tackle.
Sure was.
Got 2 guys, boom, and then off and made the tackle.
Shooter's the man in motion. They give to McNeil. McNeil got some room and got about 8. Singletary made the stop.
Well, I'll tell you, talking about the refrigerator, he lined up that time over Jim Sweeney, the left guard. He knocked Sweeney about 3 yards in the backfield. That was a good news for the Bear defense. The bad news was Freeman McNeil ran right by him. Did he give that Sweeney a ride?
Here's the Bear look. Here's Duerson. They went right by him. Duerson came on a blitz. Singletary made the stop.
I don't think that they saw him coming. They did. It didn't make any difference. Here's Duerson here. He's going to hit this thing, and they get right by him. Watch him as he comes in here. He starts in there. He's going to come. He comes right up the middle. McNeil was going out 1 hole. He had a good block. He was able to get that thing outside the blitz hole.
Tony Page is in front of McNeil. They say, not that play, but the play before, those who are supposed to be experts, that is the place to attack that Bear defense.
Well, that's the thing that they think, you know, is that you can attack it at that weak side at Duerson. The other place they think to attack it, of course, is the corners. You know, try and get the ball out there to the wide receivers.
Make it 2nd and 9, right at midfield. Bears leading 13-6. O'Brien chased by Dent. Had McNeil open, just went right through his hand, and he's disgusted. He said yesterday, I hope they throw it to me. I like to run with it, but I also like to catch it.
His nickname for himself, Freeman McNeil, is Mutt. He said that's the kind of running back he is. He likes to be, you know, a blue-collar type guy, just a mutt. You know, not a pedigree, none of that stuff. Just do whatever it takes to get the job done. Of course, that time he left a little out there.
Right at midfield they are still.
Okay, Mutt.
43 yards by McNeil. Toon goes in motion. They have 3 receivers on this side, but that doesn't matter, as Hampton and Dent and Wilson meet at the quarterback.
Look at Hampton. He said, I don't know what I did. I just lined up over the center on that play. I started my penetration. Here's Dan Hampton here. He just starts. He gets right there. O'Brien tries to do a little spin and get. By the time he does, here's Hampton. All this stuff happens here. Watch Hampton. He just goes to the left. The center went to the left. Hampton went straight up the middle. That's what he's saying. I was there. The center went the other way. No one blocked me.
answers about what
Jennings will punt. Ortego. Jennings hits this one pretty well. Ortego fields it inside the 10. Retreats to about the 7. Is really hit in midair. This Guy Bingham now, they say, number 64.
Hey, you watch this one. These guys come flying down on special teams. They usually don't get as square as Guy Bingham got that time. Woo.
13-6. The Bears 13, the Jets 6. 8:17 left to play in the third quarter. A game the Jets desperately need. McMahon, the goal. Bounces off his shoulder pad. Harry Glenn hit him.
There's the old thing with Willie Gauld. It's the same thing, Pat. When you have your hands too close to your body, this is what happens. You have to have the hands out in front. That's why they have those gloves now. That's taking the place to stick them. But when you bring those hands, you see right close into the body like that, then the ball hits the hands and your shoulder pad at the same time and goes whack, bloop, bloop, bloop.
Just bounced out. That'll make it 2nd and 10 from the 23. McMahon back to throw it again. Has some time and he takes off with it. Slides. They've been trying to get him to do that for a long time. He gets the Bear first down.
Yeah, we were talking to him about this last night, and I said, what makes you run? And he says, one thing, if I see, as he goes back here, if I see an open lane with no linebacker or defensive back in it, I'll take the ball up and get the first down. Now watch this. He's going to come back. Now watch the lane that he sees. You see, he stops right here. Now watch, stop it here. See, now right here, he sees all this box that he can run into. And he gets the first down. That's not bad. That's a big box.
A gain of 16. McMahon gets to take, and he is met immediately by Kyle Clifton. Might have lost a yard.
It'd be interesting. Remember in the first half how McMahon had that count and he drew the Jets offsides 4 times? Well, at the end of the first half and now in this third quarter, that hasn't happened. So either McMahon has stopped it or the Jets have figured it out. They're not going to go for it anymore.
Second 12. Again, McMahon is chased out of the pocket. And he goes out of bounds at the 35. A loss of about 2. Barry Bennett made sure he went out of bounds.
You know what they're doing? That time Klecko worked to the outside and Mark Gastineau came right up the middle. He was the guy that flushed McMahon out. Let's see if we can watch it. We'll see. Klecko's going to come here. You see, here comes Gastineau. Straight up the thing. He comes right up. That's what McMahon saw or felt. That boom, that popped him out here to the outside. Now he couldn't find anything, so he said, I better get out of bounds. He has one pretty good leg and the other one that he calls a bionic leg. That's a big knee brace on it. Yeah. That looked like a bionic run.
McMahon's been sacked 4 times. The Jets had the pressure on him again. That was intended for Willie Gauld, but there's no way he's going to get that ball there.
I think he had pressure on that one again. The Jets brought both their inside linebackers in that one. He had to get it away. Wasn't a very good deal going.
So Maury Buford, who hurt his average considerably with his last punt, it only went 16 yards. Kurt Sohn back deep for the Jets.
Did you see Buford sneeze just a little while ago? I think that's the first time I've ever seen a guy sneeze before he punted.
This one's going to hang up there for a long time. Sohn signals fair catch, but the wind made it look like a balloon up there. A little fracas. Now it's all quieted down. A 30-yard punt by Buford. And the Jets will start from their own 35, trailing 13-6. 37 when the game started, 35 a little bit later. Supposed to go down to 12 tonight in some parts of the metropolitan area.
You think a guy would think if he, came back and he played this game like 50 or 60 years ago and he saw nets down there and those foot warmers and all that stuff.
There's a guy who played it 50 years ago. Walker goes in motion. O'Brien, a slight roll, gets it to Rocky Cleaver. He lunges for a Jet first down at the 45, a gain of 11. Singletary again on the stop.
That's one of the things the Jets wanted to do. Ken O'Brien is not really a movement quarterback. And that little roll or waggle is what Joe Walton calls the tackle box. He rolls from the center out to the tackle on the right side and hits the tight end coming around.
He says that full rollout is not O'Brien's bag. McNeil stumbled in the backfield. I think they were trying to run the Redskin counterplay. Steve McMichael on the stop.
That's what I think happened. I think as McNeil started to take that counter step with his left foot, I think he just slipped and went down. That's what he said there. He said, I gave too good a fake on that play because all that jab step is for a fake. And on his fake, he crumbled.
McNeil has carried 12 times, picked up 43 yards. Second down. Bryan hit by Richard Dent. The ball is loose. And William Perry comes up with it. The refrigerator.
That's why you always want your best pass rusher at that right defensive end. Because you'll see Dent coming from here. It's a quarterback's backside. And you get more, not only more sacks, but you get more fumbles there. When you come from the back, O'Brien, the right-handed quarterback, looking downfield, gets hit right in the back, and boom, it pops out.
The fridge almost broken. O'Brien might be hurt. Holding his right wrist. I noticed he had a brace on it yesterday when we were talking to him. McMahon. A lot of time. Chased by Gastineau, and he can run. And the ball's loose again. And goes out of bounds.
So that one is still going to be the Bears' ball on that play. I'll tell you, they talk about Mark Gastineau, and they say that he runs as fast. Now watch him when he gets here in the backfield. McMahon takes off here. Watch Gastineau come and catch him from behind. And they say that he runs as fast as backs and stuff. Watch him here. He's fumbling around here. Now right here. Now watch when McMahon takes off, Gastineau's behind him. Here he comes. Whoa!
And
left that ball out of there.
Knocked the ball loose. McMahon, of course, was the last man to have possession. He's back to throw again. Across the middle, McKinnon. And he had some room, but couldn't hang on.
I'm sure it's cold down there, and I'm sure that's affecting not only the passing, but the receiver. They all wear these gloves now, but that one, again, I think McKinnon on that time, again, had their hands too close to their body. And the ball, as they zip it in there, is hitting their shoulder pads.
The ball, as the weather gets colder, obviously it's harder to catch, but the ball itself gets harder.
And it gets slick, too. When a ball gets cold, then it gets that glassy slickness to it.
Gentry is in the backfield. McMahon walks away from center. 4:56 left in the third quarter. O'Brien loosening up that arm that was stung a little bit. The Bears took too much time.
I think what it was.
Well, is this a timeout?
Delay.
No.
No, McMahon got up, and like he was saying it was too noisy, or maybe he was just saying that he didn't have time to get the play off. But he got up and just walked away from the line of scrimmage. I thought he was saying, I can't hear.
And ran over to the sideline. Bears back in the huddle, however. No timeout charge. Third down and 22 from the 42. Marjoram in motion. McMahon gives to Payton on a draw play, and Payton gets to the 35. Still against the wind. That's not close enough for Butler.
I think this is one that, obviously they have to punt, but I think that you want to get this thing down inside the 10-yard line. You say, why punt in the 35? When you do, you're only going to gain 15 yards if you kick it in the end zone. So when you're kicking, you're hoping to get it inside the 10.
Buford standing right at midfield. He'll do well to get this one inside the 10. Off the side of his foot. And out of bounds. Just outside the 20. Don't forget another big day coming up tomorrow here on CBS. The big one at Texas Stadium between the Giants and Dallas, Minnesota, Atlanta, Green Bay, Detroit, San Francisco against New Orleans. The NFL today starts at 12:30, and then Philadelphia, San Diego, and St. Louis at Los Angeles. Those are the two late games. Here, it's jet ball at their own 20.
I think this is a big drive here for the Jets, Pat, because it could very well be their last drive with the win.
You're so right. O'Brien is back at quarterback. They give to McNeil, and he bounces to the outside and gets very close to a touchdown, a first down, before he's tripped up by Perry.
I think that's the type of thing that the Jets need on this drive, because they do have 4 minutes. So we're not talking about that they have to throw it deep, but I think that they have to have a drive where they mix up run and pass, short and deep. In this win, keep the ball the entire rest of the quarter.
3:40 remaining, third quarter. O'Brien. Page in front of McNeil, and McNeil gets only a couple. Wilbur Marshall made the stop. There are the signals from the sideline. The formation from Hammond and the play from Zeke Bratkowski.
Tony Page is a good blocker. He had his work cut out there when he has to lead and block on Richard Dent to break defensive line, but he did a pretty good job.
Here comes Marshall on a blitz, and here's Dent from behind, and the ball's loose again. The Bears have it. Otis Wilson, number 55, comes up with the ball.
Well, it's the same thing. It's Dent again coming from that backside. The second time they've got him in this quarter. Watch Dent here. He's out here wide. McElroy is going to step out to block him. Dent with his speed just runs right by him. Now here's where, see, O'Brien doesn't see him, doesn't feel him. He starts to pull back that ball. Dent goes boom and knocks it right out of his hands.
And Otis Wilson comes up with it. And the Bears get it at the Jet 25-yard line with 2:57 left to play in the third quarter. 3 Jet turnovers. 1 for the Bears. That one was insignificant. McMahon, incomplete. It was McKinnon, covered by Johnny Lynn. Coming in, these were the 2 leading teams in that giveaway takeaway ratio. This is up to the moment now.
I think the most important thing here is all these teams in the plus are all playoff type teams, are in it for the playoff. I think of all the things, that turnover ratio is probably the biggest stat, or the most meaningful statistic there is.
Calvin Thomas in the backfield with Payton. Here is to Payton. He is hit after a yard. Marty Lyons was the first Jet there. He had an assist from Joe Klecko. Walter has got his work cut out for him, and the Bears do too.
Well, of course, he has that record. Those 100-yard straight games, 9 straight games he's rushed for 100 yards. If he's going to get it, he's going to have to get 50 quickly.
Third down and 9. Number 24, the pitch is back to Peyton. Peyton out of bounds at about the 17. Kerry Glynn knocked him out. Going to be a couple of yards short. And Mark Gastineau is the man down, the jet down. He had a big lump on his backside. Very noticeable yesterday. He had it drained before the game today. Well, that's really been bothering him.
Well, and that's where he started to reach. He started to reach, as we saw, with his right hand down there on his right hip, and he hasn't been able to practice. He was out there running around yesterday, has really missed most of the practice with the team, and has been bothered by that thing, but said he'd be fine to play today, and he has been. Let's watch him right here and see as he's coming across here and see where this happens or what happened. See him, he's right there. Peyton's coming. Peyton's turning that thing up. Now watch the balance that Peyton has and how he always explodes and finishes off things at the end. You really don't see, what happens to Gastineau.
He's up and walking off. Doesn't look very comfortable, but now he just looked back at someone and said, yeah, I think I'm okay.
Yeah, I don't think that was any new injury. I think that was probably just an aggravation of the hip that's been bothering him.
Fourth down. The Bears at the Jet 17. It doesn't look like field goal. 4th and 2.
The thing with the wind, Pat, they figured that probably the odds of making out weren't as good as getting the first down.
And if they missed, they wouldn't gain anything. In fact, they'd lose. Peyton doesn't get anything. That play looked a little bit out of sync as Lance Mell left the defense.
A play by the Jet defense and Lance Mell knifing in from the outside. We were talking to Bud Carson yesterday, and he said, when he first came here, he said he didn't know that much about Mell, but watch him come from the outside. He said he didn't look that good. But then you just watch him start playing games, and he's the guy, when you get the tackle, he's always making a tackle. When you get the big play, it's always a Lance Mell.
That's Bennett, who was shaken up on the last play, number 78 walking off. Lance Mell is another one who can't practice during the week. He's got a bad arch, and it doesn't seem to heal.
Well, the arch is so bad that after the game they put it in a cast for a few days, and he walks around on canes and crutches and stuff like that.
And then plays. The handoff is to McNeil. He is hit before he gets back to the line of scrimmage by Steve McMichael.
The old Mongo there, that's McMichael's nickname. He's the strongest guy. Number 76 is the strongest guy in the Bear team. He just held up the whole side of that line.
There's an injured Bear. Looks like Singletary. It is Mike Singletary. Well, he's the one who coordinates that complicated Bear defense. They cannot afford to lose him.
Well, he's standing up and shaking his head up and down, which is always a good sign. Really, Mike Singletary is just an extension of Buddy Ryan on the field. In fact, Buddy Ryan was out there on the field, I think.
Singletary limps off. The time left in the third quarter. 13-6, the Bears lead. They're going to have the wind in the fourth quarter. Jets need to go to work. McNeil hit from behind again by Richard Dent. I'll
tell you, whatever they did at halftime, it sure worked on Richard Dent. He's made 2 plays where he's caused O'Brien to fumble. Watch him come again from the backside on the run on Freeman McNeil. You know, a lot of guys don't get blocked, but they never make that play. But then, if you don't block him and you're going to run to the other side, he's going to catch you.
Singletary is back. Rivera had replaced him for 1 play. Here's O'Brien back to throw. Pass complete, far short of a first down to Freeman McNeil. Otis Wilson on the defense.
Well, I think, you know, the Jets had the wind here in the 3rd quarter, and I think they've blown that now. And look at this, in this whole second half, or in that whole quarter, they wanted to win, they got the win, they only got 15 yards out of it. Of course, the Bears got 94. Big thing, they got those 2 turnovers, too.
Right. They got 3 points out of 1 of them. Jennings, with the clock running, 20 seconds left to play 3rd quarter. Fields it at the 37. Gets to the 39. Don't forget, coming up next here on CBS, the Red Men of St. John's against UCLA in Los Angeles. Live at 3:45 Eastern Time. Get a chance to see Walter Berry and the rest of the Red Men of Lou Carnesecca. There's Mike Singletary over on the end of the bench. Looking at him, wrapping him up.
What a different guy he is, you know, from the guy he is off the field and the guy on the field. Off the field, you know, last night we see him, he's all dressed up, suit, necktie, notebook, glasses, very, looked like a professor. Then when he gets out on the field, he just becomes a wild man.
Second on the Bears with 101 tackles. First down for Chicago at their own 39. They lead at 13-6. This will be probably the last play of the 3rd quarter. McMahon straight ahead to Peyton, who only gets a yard. Flag goes down. Kyle Clifton on the tackle.
That's in the area where they call holding on the offensive line. And as a coach, you hate to see that. You know, when you're just running the ball, you used to see holding on running plays. It was always on pass protection.
Let's see if we can pick it up. Fred Wyant will let us know who it was. We think it's Emory Moorhead.
Holding, number 63.
No.
Repeat the downs.
Now, it was right there in the middle because you could see that's when they were running. Of course, 63 is Jay Hilgenberg. He was blocking in there on Joe Klecko. And it was right there in the middle. They only gained a yard or so, and boom, he popped that thing down there.
Let's see. The end of the 3rd quarter with the score, the Bears 13, the New York Jets 6. And we now pause for a word from your local station.
Beach with age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. Vicks Sinex with instantly penetrating vapors, complete relief for hours and hours. And by the astonishingly simple new Sony Handycam. All the excitement of video movies now in the palm of your hand.
McMahon has just been sacked by Gastineau, who came from the right side.
You know, it was interesting. Gastineau usually lines up in the left side, but now in this 3-man line type of thing, he becomes a linebacker. And now he lines up on the right side, gives McMahon the same thing that Dent had been given to O'Brien.
Gastineau got well in a hurry.
Well, he can't celebrate anymore. You know, they have the thing in there. You don't let him do the dance. Don't let any celebrations go on in this league.
Nothing premeditated.
I think that's a mistake. Let him play. Let him have fun. It's a game.
Second and 27. McMahon flushed out of the pocket again. Telling Galt to go deep. Flag is down. It's against Galt.
have a difference of opinion there, Pat. One official said it was against Galt, then another official came running in, and they had their little conference. Oh, now they're going to go back again.
Glenn was the defender back there with Galt.
I think here we have one official said it was on Galt, and the other one said it was on Kerry Glenn. They may pick this thing up.
The ball was not catchable.
No penalty. The ball was not catchable.
That's one of the dumbest rules they have, that thing. You know, how do they know if the guy does interfere? How do they know if it was catchable or not? You know, there's where Galt pushes right there. Now, you know, how does he know if he didn't push? Then that should be on Galt. Or if he didn't push him, how did he know he wouldn't intercept it? I don't think that should be part of the rule. Not catchable. It's in the field of play.
Third down and 27. Bears at their own 22.
Oh, we had a lot of stuff on that.
Yeah.
Pushing on the offense. One guy called it this way against the offense. Boom, back. Then they decided it wasn't catchable.
A lot of meetings.
Conferences.
They give to Peyton. And he is taken down by Klecko and Gastineau. Klecko first. The Bears leading by 7.
I think they're out there now. They're trying to fight with this crowd up. Get things going here.
The Jets tied for first place with New England and Miami, who play Monday night. They need a win. Buford, line drive, handled by Sohn. Sohn to the 45. Tackle by Hilgenberg, but there's a flag back down at the line of scrimmage. Punt of 47, return 12 yards. I think the Jets are going to refuse it.
They sure are.
Ineligible. Number 59, downfield. Declined. First down.
The temperature continues to drop. It's down around freezing right now. The score 13-6 and the time 13:33. Schuler in motion. O'Brien gets it out to Walker. Leslie Frazier, the defender. A gain of 11. O'Brien to Walker.
Joe Walton's calling the plays there. Zeke Britkowski's sending them in.
Tell you, Zeke's got to be in shape.
He has to. He got a lot of things there. They have plenty of time.
13-27. They give to McNeil. He gets 3 right up the middle. Singletary made the tackle.
Ken O'Brien is there trying to keep those hands warm.
You know, he might be the only quarterback in the NFL who didn't go to college on a scholarship, because they don't give scholarships at Cal Davis, do they?
No, that's the thing, and they don't have spring football in there. But I tell you, he had one of the great college coaches, and named Jim Soker, who coaches at the University of California, Davis.
That's McNeil again.
As O'Brien said, I wouldn't trade that experience for anything, and if I had it to do over again, I would do it the same way.
Look at that list of quarterbacks that were drafted in 1983.
Well, that was really the year of the quarterback. You know, the ironic thing is you look at all these guys, every AFC East team got one of them. Of course, the Colts took Elway and then traded him to Denver, and then the Bills took Kelly, and then he went to the USFL, but Easton's playing for the Patriots, O'Brien here, and of course, Dan Marino.
Here's McNeil, sweeping behind Fields. Richardson.
Yeah, there's some surprise calls here. I think that, that thing with that long yardage on third down, you kind of expected him to go for the pass there.
McNeil. Again, he had those bad ribs. And he's down again. Said he was really looking forward to this game. Let's get on with it. I like challenges. And this is a challenge. And he's right about that. This does not appear to be the ribs. It looks like they're his jaw.
One thing, it would seem like, when you're down there in that artificial turf, it's hard anyway. But when the weather is 32 degrees, it would seem like every hit would hurt more than it would in normal situation. I mean, you get something like that. I don't know that he just didn't, just the impact of hitting the ground.
That was, excuse me, John, that was Jim Sweeney that was leading the blocking, not Fields, as I said. The left guard out in front of McNeil. A little woozy. 19 carries, 60 yards. Johnny Hector will take his place. And when McNeil has been out, he's missed a couple of games. Hector has done a good job. This is Jennings now back to punt. And now he has that challenge of hanging it against the wind. Duerson standing back at the 10. Jennings will punt from his own, well, just about midfield. He gets this one and gets it into the end zone. That, against that wind, is a very fine kick. 11:23 left to play in the game. 13-6 Bears.
VHS video camera.
And recorder.
Summerall and John Madden. We're at Giant Stadium, the home of both the Giants and the Jets, and that'll give you some idea of how hard the wind is blowing, rocking those goalposts around. That's when the game started. Temperature was 37 degrees. We just saw the thermometer a minute ago about 32, and the wind 19 to 28 miles an hour and swirling. McMahon has Peyton and Suey. He had it to Reitman, and he couldn't hang on.
I tell you, that Jim McMahon is obviously is a competitor, but he wants everything. I mean, he gives the best reaction there is. He said, "What do I have to do? What do you want from me? Huh?" Then he just comes right back, tees her up again.
Yep. 2nd and 10 from the 20. Back to throw again is McMahon. He's got Galt. And Wooly Galt hangs on this time. A gain of 23, and the Bears get some breathing room. Kerry Glenn was the defender.
That's how you can get up there and catch those balls, even with the hands in close to your body. I think the ball started to bounce out a little. He just grabbed it the second time. See, he has them in there. You see it starting to slide up. Started to slide up that shoulder pad, but he was able to get it the first time, and boom, they just get that hand up there and clamp it to him.
Bears move it out to the 43. 1st and 10. McMahon that gives to Peyton. Peyton with no place to go, slips down. A loss of a couple, but they had it shut down. Bob Crable made sure he stayed down.
Peyton, of course, already has 9 100-yard games in a row, going for his 10th today. Just getting halfway there.
They, of course, would like to run out as much time as they can. Ben Rudolph into the defensive scheme now for the Jets. McMahon gets it to Reitman. Reitman hit it about the 48 by Kirk Springs, among others.
Well, he probably told Reitman in the huddle, you know, forget about the one you dropped. That's okay. Let's, we didn't get it the first time. Let's try it again till we get this thing right. So he came back. He just watched Reitman all the way on that play.
Yep.
He held the ball, watched him. He waited for it, and again he goes, boom, here it is, Tim.
Tim is coming out, and Gentry and Marjoram have come in. Golf comes wide to the left. McKinnon goes wide right. Gentry lines up in the backfield with Payton, and Marjoram is in the slot. Jets show blitz. They pick it up. They give to Gentry. And Gentry gets, I believe, enough for a first down for the Bears. Larry Flowers and Rich Miano.
Dennis Gentry is the guy that the Bears bring in now as the Mike Ditka called him as half a receiver. He says we go 3.5 receivers. Dennis Gentry being the half. And that was the formation they had that time. They had 3 wide receivers in, Gentry the half being in the backfield, and instead of him running out for a pass pattern, they just gave the half the ball.
Then he got 7 yards and a Bear first down. 8.5 minutes left to play. They get to Suey this time, who might have struggled for a yard in the arms of Marty Lyons.
This is Marty Lyons. He's wearing that shield for the first time. He got poked in the eye about 4 weeks ago. Then he got poked in the eye again last week. And he said that's enough. Once, okay, but the second time, the old mask is going on. I can see the day when all the linemen in the league are going to be wearing those masks. They'll probably have them in sunglasses someday, tinted and all that deal.
I asked him how it was when it rained, and he said not very good. No wipers. Here's McMahon. McKinnon slipped down. That field must be getting a little slick.
I think that was a bad throw anyway. Had he led McKinnon, he would have had a shot at that. But McKinnon slipped down when he tried to come under control to adjust to a ball that was thrown behind him. Let's see if we can watch it. See, McKinnon's here. Now, he's okay if he leads him out in front. See, but he had to come under control, and that's where he just slipped right out from under him. Looked like you're walking on an ice rink. You know how you walk in, you're trying to stay nice, and then...
Well, again, it rained all day here yesterday, so there could have been some slick spots. There could be. Here's McMahon. Intended for Dennis Gentry, incomplete. And the Bears will have to punt. Lester Lyles was the defender.
That was Gentry in that 3 wide receiver formation coming out of the backfield. That was the guy McMahon wanted to go. This is one time he gave that reaction. He'll get equally mad at everyone else.
Oh, yeah.
One time was Reitman. That time there was just himself.
He's going to be a guest in the studio tomorrow. Maybe he'll give us some more reactions. Buford back to kick, standing just inside his own 30. Kurt Sohn back deep for the Jets. High kick. Sohn can't handle it. They're going to down it inside the 5. The Bears thrift. Down about the 3-yard line. A 42-yard high-hanging punt that worked. The Bears 13, the Jets 6. Fourth quarter. 7 minutes, 25 seconds remaining in the contest. Timeouts remaining, 3 for both teams. The Jets have a long way to go. They mark the ball finally at the 4-yard line, their own 4.
You may take a shot here, Pat, at a big one.
Get it outside to McNeil. I beg your pardon, it's Johnny Hector, 34 instead of 24.
That's one way to get it out. They had a tight formation. What you see here, and Hector just comes to the outside. They put everyone in tight, swing Hector up to the outside again. That could very well have been one of those pick plays. Where they brought Rocky Cleaver, 89, in motion. He may have come in there to pick to get Hector out there.
He did.
Did the pick work?
Yes, Wilbur Marshall. That's McNeil. trying for the first down and gets it. Dave Durson made the stop.
Yeah, we got to get this thing going. The Bears and the Jets, big games, end of the season.
Must game.
Yeah, must game. It really hasn't. Maybe it's the weather, but you just don't have the feeling it's really cranked up yet or something.
O'Brien back to throw. Looking down the middle. Finsick broke it up. Almost had an interception. Schuler was the intended receiver.
Hey, Gary Finsick jumped on that one. In fact, his neck thing just popped right out. Made it look like he had a necktie. Watch him, 45 straight up the middle. You see, he reads it there, gets a good jump, gets that left hand in, boom, just knocks that ball out of there.
Closed quickly, as they say.
Yes, Buddy Ryan for a report card a couple weeks ago, and Buddy says you're doing okay, so I passed my midterm.
O'Brien is hammered by Hampton and Dent again. Kurt Sohn was the intended receiver, but O'Brien was buried.
Well, that's where O'Brien and the Jets have been having all their trouble, is from that backside pass rush. Again, he's throwing to his right. He throws mostly to his right, and he's really getting it. You see here, he's looking back. See, really getting it right back there from Richard Dent. That time he had Hampton underneath him.
The
refrigerator, he's flopping around there in the middle somewhere. You can always catch him.
Third down and long. O'Brien again is hurried. Schuler has it batted away by Finsick. And again, O'Brien was lucky.
Finsick made 2 plays in a row there, and I think he's going to have his big smile on his face on this one, because the wind really helped him here. O'Brien had to throw that one into the wind. The ball, Schuler was behind Finsick. The ball was just hung up there long enough to let Finsick catch up with it.
And Jennings has his work cut out for him, standing back at his own 1-yard line. Ortego standing close to midfield. Back deep for the Bears. Low kick. Just gets out to the 43. That wind's got to be really, really tough. 27-yard punt by Jennings. And so we have 6.5 minutes left to play. And the Bears clinging to that lead. Giving that extra day, special studio guests, the Bear quarterback Jim McMahon and the great Johnny Unitas. 2 guys who can throw it. And then that big matchup at Texas Stadium. The Giants at 9-5 against the Dallas Cowboys at 9-5.
I'm going to be on a train watching that one.
Can you watch on the train?
Yeah. Bring one of those things you carry with you. Boom, boom, boom. You watch it on the train.
Well, you see the situation. Both at 9-5. The Redskins not out of it at 8-6. So that one means just about everything. The winner, in all likelihood, will win the NFC East. The Cowboys win it. They will.
Yeah, the Cowboys have to tighten up their defense a little from last week. The way they played against Cincinnati. Bengals scoring 55 points against them.
Do you have an opinion on the winner?
I think if there's no turnovers, if the Giants don't turn the ball over, I think they beat the Cowboys.
Here, the Bears give to Peyton. Peyton has a tough time getting a yard. It's Klecko. Great number 34 streak is very seriously jeopardized. He's got 50 yards. He's had 9 consecutive games in which he's rushed for over 100.
And you know the guy who probably cares the least?
Walter Payton.
Is Walter Payton.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll be happier. I guarantee he's much happier with the win and their record and being where they are than any record that he himself gets.
McMahon to McKinnon. Gets his feet down in bounds and gets a Bear first down. Covered by Johnny Lynn.
I'll tell you, McMahon was really knocked on that one by Clifton again, just as he threw that ball. Pretty good hands here by McKinnon coming back. You see, he was able to stop, come back, get up. You know those gloves now, those things are sticky and they're just like stickum. But watch Clifton as he hits McMahon here, throws him to the turf. McMahon didn't even see the completion. Look, he's all spun around there, arm under, hunkering down there.
He may have to take something this evening to get rid of his soreness. Here's Peyton. Over the left side, down to inside the 25 before Crable, number 50. Walter got 4.
You know, McMahon was saying last night that he likes to wake up. He said, "I hope I wake up ready for the game."
Like to wake up mad.
Ready. Yeah, what's that feel like? He said, mad, upset. I've had guys, I remember Dave Casper, I mean, he never wanted to feel good. If he felt good, he thought something bad was going to happen to him. But that's Ray McMahon, he doesn't want to feel good.
2nd and 6. The give is again to Peyton. Nothing doing. Shut him down again. Kyle Clifton again on the stop.
You know, as we've watched the Bears here, I think that's one area that they're slipping a little, is that their run blocking isn't as devastating and as powerful as it was earlier in the year. Of course, you can say, well, now that's against the Jet defense, but I think that was the same thing that was true against the Colt defense and other defenses.
Gentry. And what has now become a familiar formation. McMahon back to throw. Here's the blitz. They get it to Gentry. Gentry gets inside the 20 to about the 19. About a yard shy of a first down.
Well, Gentry is going to be the guy that they try and get the ball to. You know, when he's coming out of the backfield, that's his specialty. We're going to see the linebacker. We see the blitz coming. Gentry just comes right in over here. It's this linebacker here coming. Gentry from this side comes in here and catches the ball. But you see the blitz, both of them coming, cross up the middle. Gentry hits that area where they left.
Butler. That's from 36. And he got it. And the Bear lead is now 10, 16-6 with 3:41 left to play in the fourth. 36-yard field goal by Kevin Butler.
Yeah, that's so much for one team having to win, the other team not having to. I've always thought if that is ever true, the game's in trouble. You know, if whoever has the most reason or the better reason to win always wins, and then the other team loses, it just gets to be how good is your reason, whether you win or not. And that's a bunch of baloney.
3:41. Teams undefeated at home this year. The Bears have finished theirs unbeaten. The Jets were 6-0 coming in. Miami unbeaten at home. Detroit unbeaten at home. If Detroit could win on the road, they'd be right in the thick of the playoff picture. They play the Bears next week in Detroit, indoors,
where they haven't lost. But the Bears, you know, they've done pretty well this year at home, and they've done pretty well on the road. In fact, they've done pretty well everywhere except Miami.
Looks like it'll be 14-1. Here comes Ortego out to hold.
Just hold it there with the glove.
Lightly.
Keep your head down. Don't lift up. Don't lift your finger. Oh.
Butler chases Humphrey 6 yards deep in the end zone. And they won't bring it back.
Now there's a cool kicker, that Kevin Butler. Did you see him? Is that the way you did it when you'd kick out? He just went boom, kicked the ball and stood right there. Didn't even, you know, it's like a guy hits home run. Remember how Reggie Jackson would go boom and then he'd stand there at home plate and watch the ball go over? That's what Butler did. But he kicks the ball and then just stands right there and watches all the action. There's the hole. What? Now that's cool. Look at him. He just points to it. Even backed up a little.
Yeah.
See? That's just like a Reggie Jackson shot.
O'Brien complete to Schuler. Tackled by Fensick. A gain of about 6. No huddle. Jets to work quickly. O'Brien chased by Hampton. Incomplete. William Perry also in on the pass rush of O'Brien.
You know, that Hampton is something. He doesn't practice all week. They say that, you know, his knee is flared up. He's not going to be able. Then it just, whatever it is, it gets a competitor up to play. It just comes through him. He just comes out here and plays the game.
I thought what McMichael said. We were asking Steve last night if Hampton was going to play, and he said, "You kidding? National television a week before the vote for the Pro Bowl? He'll play."
And he was right. Other coaches saying, no, Hampton can't play, won't start, this and that. But Michael knew.
Minutes, 25 seconds remaining in the contest. Timeouts remaining, 3 for both teams. But the Jets have a long way to go. They mark the ball finally at the 4-yard line, their own 4.
He may take a shot here, Pat, at a big one.
Pardon, it's Johnny Hector, 34 instead of 24.
That's one way to get it out. You know, they had a tight formation. What you see here, and Hector just comes to the outside. They put everyone in tight, swing Hector up to the outside again. You know, that could very well have been one of those pick plays. You know, where they brought Rocky Cleaver, 89, in motion. He may have come in there to pick to get Hector out there.
He did.
Did the pick work?
Yes, Wilbur Marshall. That's McNeil. Trying for the first down and gets it. Dave Durson made the stop.
Hey, we got to get this thing going. You know, everyone, you know, the Bears and the Jets, big game, end of the season.
Must game.
Yeah, must game. It really hasn't. Maybe it's the weather, but you just don't have the feeling it's really, you know, cranked up yet or something.
O'Brien back to throw. Looking down the middle. Fensick broke it up. Almost had an interception. Schuler was the intended receiver.
Hey, Gary Fensick jumped on that one. In fact, his neck thing just popped right out. Made it look like he had a necktie. Watch him, 45 straight up the middle. You see, he reads it there. Gets a good jump. Gets that left hand in. Boom, just knocks that ball out of there.
Closed quickly, as they say.
Buddy Ryan for a report card a couple weeks ago, and Buddy says you're doing okay. So I passed my midterm.
O'Brien is hammered by Hampton and Dent again. Kurt Sohn was the intended receiver, but O'Brien was buried.
Well, that's where O'Brien and the Jets have been having all their trouble, is from that backside pass rush. Again, he's throwing to his right. He throws mostly to his right, and he's really getting it. You see here, he's looking back. See, really getting it right back there from Richard Dent. That time he had Hampton underneath him.
The
refrigerator, you know, he's flopping around there in the middle somewhere. You can always catch him.
3rd down and long. O'Brien again is hurt. Schuler has it batted away by Fensick. And again, O'Brien was lucky.
Fensick made 2 plays in a row there, and I think he's going to have his big smile on his face on this one, because the wind really helped him here. O'Brien had to throw that one into the wind. The ball, Schuler was behind Fensick. The ball was just hung up there long enough to let Fensick catch up with it.
And Jennings has his work cut out for him, standing back at his own 1-yard line. 4 to go, standing close to midfield. Back deep for the Bears. Low kick. Just gets out to the 43. That wind's got to be really, really tough. 27-yard punt by Jennings. And so we have 6.5 minutes left to play. And the Bears clinging to that lead. Giving that extra day, special studio guests, Bear quarterback Jim McMahon and the great Johnny Unitas. Two guys who can throw it. And then that big matchup at Texas Stadium. The Giants at 9-5 against the Dallas Cowboys at 9-5.
I'm going to be on a train watching that one.
Can you watch on the train?
Yeah. Bring one of those things you carry with you. Boom, boom, boom. You watch it on the train.
Well, you see the situation. Both at 9-5. The Redskins not out of it at 8-6. So that one means just about everything. The winner, in all likelihood, will win the NFC East. The Cowboys win it. They will.
Now, the Cowboys have to tighten up their defense a little from last week. The way they played against Cincinnati. Bengals scoring 55 points against them.
Do you have an opinion on the winner?
I think if there's no turnovers, if the Giants don't turn the ball over, I think they beat the Cowboys.
Here, the Bears give to Peyton. Peyton has a tough time getting a yard. It's Klecko. Great number 34 streak is very seriously jeopardized. He's got 50 yards. He's had 9 consecutive games in which he's rushed for over 100.
And you know the guy who probably cares the least?
Walter Payton.
Is Walter Payton.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll be happier. I guarantee he's much happier with the win and their record and being where they are than any record that he himself gets.
McMahon to McKinnon. Gets his feet down in bounds and gets a Bear first down. Covered by Johnny Lynn.
I'll tell you, McMahon was really knocked on that one by Clifton again, just as he threw that ball. Pretty good hands here by McKinnon coming back. You see, he was able to stop, come back, get up. You know those gloves now, those things are sticky and they're just like Stickum. But watch Clifton as he hits McMahon here. Throws him to the turf. McMahon didn't even see the completion. Look, he's all spun around there, arm under, hunkering down there.
He may have to take something this evening to get rid of his soreness. Here's Peyton. Over the left side, down to inside the 25 before Crable, number 50. Walter got 4.
You know, McMahon was saying last night that he likes to wake up. He said, "I hope I wake up ready for the game."
Like to wake up mad.
Ready. Yeah, what's that feel like? He said, "Mad, upset." I've had guys. I remember Dave Casper. I mean, he never wanted to feel good. If he felt good, he thought something bad was going to happen to him. And that's the way McMahon. He doesn't want to feel good.
2nd and 6. The give is again to Peyton. Nothing doing. Shut him down again. Kyle Clifton again on the stop.
You know, as we've watched the Bears here, I think that's one area that they're slipping a little, is that their run blocking isn't as devastating and as powerful as it was earlier in the year. Of course, you can say, well, now that's against the Jet defense, but I think that was the same thing that was true against the Colt defense and other defenses.
Gentry in what has now become a familiar formation. McMahon back to throw. Here's the blitz. They get it to Gentry. Gentry gets inside the 20 to about the 19. About a yard shy of a first down.
Well, Gentry is going to be the guy that they try and get the ball to. You know, when he's coming out of the backfield, that's his specialty. We're going to see the linebacker. We see the blitz coming. Gentry just comes right in over here. It's this linebacker here coming. Gentry from this side comes in here and catches the ball. But you see the blitz, both of them coming, cross up the middle. Gentry hits that area where they left.
Butler. That's from 36. And he got it. And the Bear lead is now 10, 16-6 with 3:41 left to play in the fourth. 36-yard field goal by Kevin Butler.
Yeah, that's so much for one team having to win, the other team not having to. I've always thought if that is ever true, the game's in trouble. You know, if whoever has the most reason or the better reason to win always wins, and then the other team loses, it just gets to be how good is your reason, whether you win or not. And that's a bunch of baloney.
3:41. Teams undefeated at home this year. The Bears have finished theirs unbeaten. The Jets were 6-0 coming in. Miami unbeaten at home. Detroit unbeaten at home. If Detroit could win on the road, they'd be right in the thick of the playoff picture. They play the Bears next week in Detroit, indoors,
where they haven't lost. But the Bears, you know, they've done pretty well this year at home, and they've done pretty well on the road. In fact, they've done pretty well everywhere except Miami.
Looks like it'll be 14-1. Here comes Ortego out the hole.
Just hold it there. Put the glove
Lightly.
Keep your head down. Don't lift up. Don't lift your finger. Oh.
Butler chases Humphrey 6 yards deep in the end zone. And they won't bring it back.
Now there's a cool kicker, that Kevin Butler. Did you see him? Is that the way you did it when you'd kick out? He just went boom, kicked the ball and stood right there. Didn't even, you know, it's like a guy hits home run. Remember how Reggie Jackson would go boom and then he'd stand there at home plate and watch the ball go over? That's what Butler did. But he kicks the ball and then just stands right there and watches all the action. There's the hole. What? Now that's cool. Look at him. He just points to it. Even backed up a little. See? That's just like a Reggie Jackson shot.
O'Brien complete to Schuler. Tackled by Fensick. A gain of about 6. No huddle. Jets to work quickly. O'Brien chased by Hampton. Incomplete. William Perry also in on the pass rush of O'Brien.
You know, that Hampton is something. He doesn't practice all week. They say that, you know, his knee is flared up. He's not going to be able. Then it just, whatever it is, it gets a competitor up to play. It just comes through him, and he just comes out here and plays the game.
About what McMichael said. We were asking Steve last night if Hampton was going to play, and he said, "You kidding? National television a week before the vote for the Pro Bowl? He'll play."
And he was right. Other coaches saying, no, Hampton can't play, won't start, this and that. But Michael knew.
Singletary yelling instructions, and that's Otis Wilson coming from the outside. The 4th sack of the day by the Bears.
That's the one that gave the Cowboys so much trouble. Remember Otis Wilson coming from the outside? Here he is. They get the 2 linebackers right here, and boom, come right off this corner and hit O'Brien there. Watch, Marshall is the inside guy. Otis Wilson, the outside guy. Look, they block Marshall, but they don't get Wilson. Brought both a boom, boom. You got to get that Otis Wilson blocked. I'll tell you, if he don't, he has a sniffer on that helmet.
They're going for it on 4th. Intended for Toon. Incomplete. Mike Richardson was back there with him. And the Bears will take over with 2:43 remaining. And leading 16-6.
Here's the thing, and it shows what a day it's been for Ken O'Brien, and it's the type of day that you usually get. Now, he was sacked 4 times, hurried 6 times. He was knocked down 3 times. Now, he didn't have any interceptions, 1 batted, so the no interceptions look good, but all that other stuff, that makes you get up holding your wrist and looking out your ear hole a lot. I mean, those things add up. You know, they don't show in the stats, but you start to look at them, and that's been a long, hurting day.
They show on the body. McMahon. Suey is wide open, and Suey is inside the 5, out of bounds at about the 3. Kyle Clifton on a stop.
Yeah, I haven't seen a throw like that, Pat, since you were playing. the old jump pass. Remember how the quarterbacks would come out and they'd always jump as they throw the ball, jump and go backward, and then someone would always take their picture in the middle of a jump. That's what McMahon did when he threw that one to Matt Suey.
Jumping backwards?
Yeah, jumping backwards. Usually the left hand is out like this, and you're up in the air.
Reminds me of pictures of Harry Gilmer.
Yeah.
2-minute warning will be notified to both coaches. The Bears 16, the Jets 6. 2 minutes to go. The Bears 16, the Jets 6. The Jets play Cleveland next week. They can still get into the playoffs in spite of what appears to be a loss today if they beat Cleveland next week. There are some other combinations of things that could happen. That's the simplest one. This is Peyton. He gets down to about the 1.5-yard line before Charles Jackson makes the stop.
I don't think we're going to see the refrigerator down here, Pat. I think that Mike Ditka told him, he says, if you get to the passer, I'm going to let you pass it. So now that's kind of like the cookie or something. You know, if you're a good boy, I'm going to let you run it. And the refrigerator didn't get to the quarterback today.
He's up and ready. He's at the 2. The clock running with 1:20 left to play. The give is to Peyton. He's hit behind the line of scrimmage by Tom Baldwin. Don't forget, as soon as this is over, a very dejected Joe Walton, the NFL Today, the post-game show. And hopefully Irv Cross will be able to interview some of the Bear players. The Giant Cowboy preview. And the Greek will give you his choice of the winner of the Kansas City-Denver game later this afternoon. 3rd down. They're back to the 4s. Peyton lost a couple.
And the Bears put in their 2 wide receivers again, so they're both lining up not in the right side. So this is obviously a passing down.
This could be the last play. McMahon chased out of the pocket. His intended receiver was Willie Gault, and he slipped down in the end zone. That'll bring up 4th. And that stops the clock with 19 to go. The executive producer, Terry O'Neill. The senior producer, Charles Milton III. Directed by Sandy Grossman, John Petrano, the associate producer, and the rest of our staff. It's been a cold one, but as always, an excellent job by those people.
And they had to work through power pops and everything.
Yeah, the power. We had a power hit. That sounds like a football
power hit. Yeah, I didn't know. I thought power pops.
Sounds like a football term. Butler. 21 yards. Butler's good. And it's 19-6 Bears with 17 seconds left to play. The AFC Eastern picture is now not a pleasant one for the Jets. Miami and New England both 10-4, and they play Monday night. The Jets will drop to 10-5. Again, as I said a minute ago, if the Jets beat Cleveland next week, they can still get into the playoffs. And there are numerous other possibilities.
You know, this could be the first year in a long time, or the one that I can remember, where in the AFC, a team could win 10 games and not get to the playoffs. Because you have the 3 here, then one has to get in from the Central, and then you have, you know, the Raiders and the Broncos out in the West.
"17 seconds left to play. The Bears, of course, have clinched The NFC Central, they clinched the home field advantage, regardless of what the combination might be at Soldier Field. That is, of course, assuming they continue to win. Going to win their 14th of the year. Johnny Hector. Spins, knocked down at the 26. Clock stops with 10 seconds remaining. A return of 20. Well, that playoff picture and figuring out who's going to make it and who's not going to make it and who you have to pull for and how many points you have to score.
Well, you know, when they did that and they put in all these formats, that's what they wanted. I mean, they wanted at the end of the year to have all these possibilities and everyone rooting for different wins and losses and all that stuff.
Lateral to McNeil by Schuler. He gets out of bounds, but that's all she wrote. Gary Finsick knocked him out of bounds, and the Bears go home victorious on a very cold day at Giant Stadium. 19-6 the final score. Let's go now to Brent Musburger.
Chicago Bears against